Yeah, hi there. These comments are for my son, and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. And I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 5.
The university's announcement is about prohibition of mobile usage during class and work hours in the university. But the first student is not agree with this idea, and because it thinks it's unfair because most of people now are dependent.
Okay, let's focus on what the policy is first, before you get into what the student's opinion is. So that would be my first suggestion.
On their phones because of personal or work-related problems. The second student is agree with this idea.
So what you would do is you would start off your response something like this. You could say the reading passage discusses a new university policy regarding cell phone use, and in the listening passage, the two students discuss the policy. Then say, first of all, according to the reading policy, or according to the reading passage, cell phones are permitted, blah, blah, blah. They're not permitted in certain locations or whatever. And then you can make a transition and move into what the speaker said.
It thinks that the student can concentrate better during lectures in the classes, and they should not listen to other students talking to their phone. In or outside of the classes. The first students, on the other hand, thinks that when someone does something, others should not be suffered because of that. But the second student thinks that this will make the university a more peaceful and distraction-free environment for everyone.
Okay, not bad. You kind of had a pretty good ending there. Okay, on this one, I think you can improve your topic development, like I was suggesting. You seem to have pretty good control over your language use, including both your vocabulary and your grammar. I didn't notice any major problems there. Delivery, part of it was the recording wasn't entirely clear. I had some trouble understanding some of what you're saying. On this one, yeah, I'm going to put you at about 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this practice test. All right, thank you. Yeah, this guy's been working pretty hard. This student I just gave comments on, he's doing a lot of writing practice. He's doing a lot of speaking practice. He's not where he needs to be yet. But the key for him is to continue to use a lot of English, to continue to have a lot of exposure, whether he might be reading or listening or watching television programs. He needs just to continue to get that exposure, and he will get better with his speaking in time. Okay, let's take a look at the next one here, see what we have. I went to Disneyland a couple of days ago, and well, that put me behind. So I'm just trying to get caught up. Yeah, hi, these comments are for Meg Delmeda, and I am Michael, the founder owner, And the materials right are for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And I'm listening to your independent, I think, speaking practice test number 25. Am I right? All right, let's take a look at what this question is. Is this it? This actually appeared on the TOEFL exam. Talk about an important news event that happened recently in your country. Describe the event and explain why it was important.
One important event that happened in my country was the Olympics. What was held.
Let me listen to what you just said there. I got to check your topic development.
One important event that happened in my country was the Olympics. What was held about 2 months ago. First of all, the Olympics was very important about 2 months ago.
Here, hold on one thing.
What happened in my country was the Olympics. What was held about 2 months ago.
Which was held 2 months ago? You said what was 2 months ago. I would just say which was held 2 months ago. That'll be a better word there.
First of all, the Olympics was very important to my country because it raised worldwide attention and then improved dramatically the tourism.
But what is it exactly? I mean, I got to have some context here. What is the event exactly? So you need to describe it first so I can understand it, and then explain why it was important.
That increased the tourism activities, Brazil is able to make a lot of money and then to invest in it to ameliorate the basic needs of population, such as health, sanitation, and security. Moreover, Olympics was very helpful to my country because it improved its reputation among the other countries as the media stayed portraying the successful logistics around it.
Yeah, the problem here is I'm still not exactly sure what the news event was. I mean, I understand a little bit about why it was important, but what exactly happened? Is this a dignitary, a visitor from another country came to speak? Was it an accident and several people were injured? What exactly was this news event that you're describing? So I think you're missing with topic development. I'm part of the assignment there. So I think some weaknesses with topic development. You seem to have pretty good control of your language use, but I did have some trouble understanding your delivery here. I'm going to put you at 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, that particular student, she is sometimes hard to understand, but she has made some improvements, and part of what she did to speak more clearly is she's trying to figure out how to pause, I think, after 4 or 5 stress words, and she's also working on her intonation a little bit, and it is making her somewhat intelligible, but as you can see, she still has a ways to go with her TOEFL speaking, at least before she gets that higher score. Okay, let's go to the next one. So right now what I'm doing is the student completed the speaking practice test yesterday. So today I listen to it, I comment on it, and then I upload my comments to the same location where she posted her practice test. So she can now get my comments. So even though we don't meet directly using Skype or some other service, she's still getting feedback on her speaking. For example, here. She'll go back to this particular web page here. So she titled this TOEFL Related Practice 25 there, and then here's my comments here right next to where she posted her practice test. And that's kind of how it works. This is, in my opinion, one of the most effective ways to help students improve speaking and do it in a costly manner. For example, if she wants to do speaking practice when we face-to-face, I don't even offer that service, but if she did, I'd have to charge at least $40 an hour. So now She can post 30 practice tests over a month, and she's still only paying about $45 a month to get this service, to get my comments. And she's going to get better. Okay, let's go to the next one here. I'm still 21 hours behind. Usually when I get up to about 4 or 5 hours behind, then I just wait till the next day to get those done. I don't try to get everything done typically in one day. Here we go. Hi there, these comments are for Ben Chen, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 6. Alright, let's take a look just for a minute though. Let me make sure I'm on the same page as you. Okay, so the question here is, which do you think is better, living on campus in dorms or living off campus in apartments?
If I had to choose the two places to live, I would choose to live in dormitories because it saves me a lot of time. For example,
okay, so you like living in dorms because it saves you a lot of time. Now you're going to spend the rest of this particular response illustrating that point.
If I live in dormitories, I would not need to hurry to my classes every day because classrooms are usually on campus within walking distance.
And then you might, when you introduce that idea, you might say, for example, or for instance.
However, if I choose to live in apartments, it might take me an hour to...
It might take me, not take. So remember, with the word might, you want to use the base form or the simple form after modals, or the word might or may or could or would and so on.
2 hours every day for commuting. I would prefer to save those time for...
And then maybe say therefore. If you say therefore as a result, then you're saying, well, because of that, or, you know, I would rather...
For reviewing my notes or doing some homework, doing some exercise.
Yeah, but the very end of it, though, you're talking about how you could do exercise instead of that extra time. But at the very end, you want to kind of tie up loose ends. You want to say, therefore, this is why I prefer living off campus instead of living in apartments away from the university. You might say something like that. All right, so overall, what do we have? I think overall you had a pretty good response. I like your strategy. You're not trying to develop too many different ideas, so you focused on how it saves you time. So I think more or less you did a pretty good job with that. You have pretty good control of your language use, and you're getting very comfortable with your speaking and your delivery. So I think that you did very well on that part of it. So, can you get a score 4? I'm going to say maybe. It's close. To be safe, though, I'm going to put you at about 23 to 24 points out of 30, 3.0 to 3.1. So, if you didn't get a score 4 in this one from an iBT Human Rater, could be because of some possible topic development issues. But overall, I think this is a pretty good response. Those are my comments to him. This guy's come a long ways. He's working very hard to improve his speaking. Let's see if I can get at least 2 more done. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go swimming with my son in the pool. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take a quick break here in a few minutes and go out. I live in Southern California, so we got a great day today. It's August 5th. It's 100 degrees. It's perfect. It's not very humid at all. It's dry, but it is hot. and I just want to float around the pool and do nothing for about an hour. How about that? It's exactly what I want to do. Alright, let's go to one more here. I have to get to this one student. This one, once I get Zapata done, I'm finished. This guy is taking the TOEFL test tomorrow. And he needs to get 26. And he's been posting 3 practice tests every day for the last 10 days. And my job is to help him as much as I can so he can eliminate some of the problems that he's having. Yeah, hi there. These comments are from Marcelok, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test 25. So talk about an important news event that happened recently in your country. Describe the event and explain why this one is important. Somebody else just did this question even today. It was a train wreck. So hopefully yours is much better than the one I just listened to.
A relevant event that happened in my country was the earthquake. First of all, that earthquake was about 7.9 degrees level and happened in April.
Okay.
A lot of families were affected, and because of the destruction it caused. In addition, the president took immediately action and started sending help to support all the families.
Okay.
Furthermore, a lot of countries knew about that problem and sent help, including food and clothes.
You say problem when other countries learned about this natural disaster. I think that would be a little bit better vocabulary there, and you're showing you have a good range of words.
Overall, because of that, that is an important event that happened in my country.
Alright, so I think you answered the question more or less. Language use, a little bit with basic vocabulary in there. For example, the word natural disaster. Topic development, I think you covered your bases and you answered the question. Delivery, you're intelligible. You're speaking a little bit slowly, but you're definitely intelligible. On this one, I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Meg Delmeda, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. I'm going to listen to your TOEFL speaking practice test number 26, I believe it is. Alright, so this one says, do you agree or disagree? Your friends are the most important influence in your life. Use details and examples to explain why it was important.
I agree, my friends make exert the most important influence in my life. The reason why I think my closest friends are influential to me is mainly because we share many similarities in life. I have some examples to illustrate my point of view.
Alright, so you share similarities. Now you're going to give examples to show what these similarities are.
First example is my friend Maria, who is a pharmacist as me, and she's always happy to give me good advice.
She's always happy. Let's go back to what we just said.
She's a pharmacist as me, and she's always happy to give me good advice, as she had a previous experience in the field I work nowadays. Another example is my friend George, who is a personal trainer, and he's also up to give me advice on nutrition and training.
But what are these similarities, right? So if you say that you have similarities and you frame your response in the beginning with that purpose, then you want to make sure all the examples you give show how you are similar. So if you talk about Maria, you want to say, well, Maria and I are both similar in the sense that we both like to play basketball, or we both like to do sports, or we both like to watch movies or whatever. So you want to make sure that the examples you provide, they tie back to that idea. That helps give you a more coherent, I think, organization of ideas. Right? So that's really my main comment on this. So I think overall, if we look at the rubrics here, I think some problems with topic development, making everything connect to one coherent kind of idea, probably could have done a little bit better job there. Delivery language use, not bad. Still, I think it's a good response. I'm going to put you 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Preets, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. Wow, it's so tempting. I want to go jump in the pool right now. It's 100 degrees outside, but I'm going to listen to your practice test before I do anything. Okay, here we go. Let me listen to it right here.
The text of the article from University in campus newspaper that universities decided to discontinue the bus service. The university did so because of 2 reasons. First, there are very less students who ride in the bus. And secondly, the money saved by eliminating the bus service is used to build more parking lots. In conversation, the man disagreed.
Now what I would do is if in the beginning you want an introduction that connects both the reading and the listening passage. You might say, well, and the reading passage discusses a new policy about bus services, and in the listening passage the 2 students react or discuss the new policy or something. Say it like that. That's what you do before you get to the information in the reading passage.
He feels this way because of 2 reasons. On first position, according to him, the problem is with the route of the bus. There are very less students who live near the campus because it's very...
I would say there are less. There are fewer students. I would use fewer there instead of less, because we typically we use fewer with count nouns and less with uncount nouns. So I might say this: I have less homework today than I had yesterday. I have fewer homework assignments today than I had yesterday.
Expensive there. So the university should change the route from neighborhood up to the far from campus. And secondly, he said that by building a new parking lot will encourage more students to drive into campus, which ultimately increase more traffic and noise pollution. And even
now, when you say that next, you say another reason why the man disagrees with the policy is because, or the man also disagrees with the policy because, and then state that, so that way we can see how that information connects back to the conversation. It would make it easier to understand how the ideas are connected.
The university needs more parking space to build on, so that's why he is not agree with the decision of the university.
So that's why he what? Let me listen to this one more time. Here.
The text of the book is not agree with the decision of the university. More parking space to build on, so that's why he is not agree with the decision.
That's why he is not. No, that's why he does not agree with the policy there. So that's how I would say that. So here you have some language use problems, I think. I gave you a suggestion of how you can improve certain areas of your response to better connect the information back to the task. Delivery was actually pretty good. I didn't have too much trouble understanding what you're saying there. I'm going to put you at about 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Okay, we got another practice test. This one, I got a good feeling about her. I think this student here will be able to get her goal within the month. Her score is very close to 4 or 26 points out of 30. She just needs to get a score of 4 on 4 of the TOEFL speaking tasks, a score of 2 on 2 of them. If she can do that, she definitely will be able to reach her goal. So let's see how she did. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for SSA, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. Boy, a lot of people are posting practice tests over the last 24 hours, and that's telling me that many of you guys are probably taking the TOEFL test tomorrow. If you are, good luck. Just try to remember the comments I've given you over the last few weeks. And you, of all people, you are very, very close. I would predict that you should be able to reach your goal within this month. That's what I would say. All right, so you did independent speaking practice test 21. This question appeared on the TOEFL test. It says give 2 solutions that you think can help reduce air pollution.
We know that the problem of polluted air can be solved by 2 strategies. The first strategy is increasing the green areas by planting a lot of trees in front of houses, in the streets, on the roof of some buildings, and that will help to increase the amount of oxygen and decrease the amount of carbon dioxide, because all of us know that trees make photosynthesis, so that will help to improve the quality of air.
Wow, good vocabulary in there. Photosynthesis, used a lot of good words in there. Carbon dioxide, you talked about oxygen, very specific. I think that you really did. You had some very good language use in the first 29 seconds of this response.
Second, the government should put high fines on any fraud or industry that doesn't apply.
I'll say industry.
The law for putting filters on the exhaust.
So you're running out of time. You know you're running out of time. So you're starting to pause. You're having hesitations. Your speech is kind of falling apart near the end. The first 29 seconds was really good. Keep it together the whole time. You want to have 45 seconds of very fluid, natural sounding, organized speaking.
So we will improve the quality of air also.
Okay, you kind of ran out of time, so I think on this one you had some topic development issues as you got near the end of your response. You ran out of time, you weren't able to really fully develop your second point. You did an awesome job on developing your first example, and you provided a lot of very specific vocabulary to support that point. Delivery was good until about 30 seconds, and then you started to run into some trouble with some pauses and some hesitations. Your score here, I'm going to put you at about 24 points out of 30, 3.1 out of 6. Had you kept it together for the entire 45 seconds, I think I would have given you at least 26 points or higher on this practice test. Okay, this guy right here, I think his TOEFL exam might be tomorrow, and he has been practicing for the last 10 days. He needs to get 26. In my opinion, he might not be there yet, but let's hear what he has to say. Hi there, these comments are for Zapata 207. I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. And I'm going to listen to 3 of your speaking practice tests. So one of them is task number 4. It looks like agnostic behavior.
The reading passage offers a general explanation regarding agnostic behavior, and in the listening passage, the professor uses an example to illustrate this concept. According to the reading, agnostic behavior means that animals conflict and compete physically with each other for food, but they don't harm each other. The professor uses the example of the snakes. He explains that rattlesnake snakes found some food in underground resources, and they started to face each other and make themselves tall as possible, pushing each other to gain control. But after one gained control and pushed the other to the ground,
maybe say one gains control,
release the loser without biting it and access to the food resource.
Not bad. And believe it or not, I could pretty much understand everything that you said there. So I think on this one you had good control, I think, of your vocabulary. You were able to fully explain the idea. I think that's a good thing that you did. So I think on this one you had good topic development and so on. So I think it's possible that you could get a score 26 on this, or get a score 4. So I'm going to put you at 26 points or higher on this practice test.
The professor explains 2
So now you're getting into a lecture. You're explaining the key points in a lecture.
strategies to address customers' concern. The first strategy is to point out some special features about the product. The professor uses an example in electronic devices. She explains that when the customer is concerned about the cost of product, the seller can explain how fast it works. Another strategy is to demonstrate that something is very useful and show that in front of the customer. The professor again uses an example in electronic devices. She explains that to address the concern of customers regarding whether the laptop is portable enough or not, the professor can unplug it and put it in the case.
Yeah, let me listen to this again. My phone went off in my pocket. I got distracted, so let's go back.
The professor explains 2 strategies to address customers' concern. The first strategy is to point out
to adverse customer concerns.
The professor explains 2 strategies to address customers' concern. The first
so 2 strategies to address customer concerns.
strategy is to point out some special features about the product. The professor uses an example in
You
electronic
see the words professor, so put stress on the second syllable there.
devices. She explains that when the customer
Wait a minute. I got to check something.
in electronic devices.
Okay.
She explains that when the customer is concerned about the cost of
When the customer is concerned, let me make sure you use that beaver.
in electronic devices. She explains that when the customer is concerned about the
So you say when the customer is concerned. So you're using customers as an apostrophe S, so you are putting the be verb in there.
cost of product, the seller can explain how fast it works.
Okay.
Another strategy is to demonstrate that something is very useful and show that in front of the customer. The professor again uses an example in electronic devices. She explains that to address the concern of customers regarding whether the laptop is portable enough or not, the professor can unplug it and put it in the case and put it on the shoulder of the customer.
Okay. I think on this one it's close. I think that maybe because of some delivery issues you might not make the score 4 on this. So I'm going to put you at about 23 to to 24 points out of 30 on this practice test due to some delivery issues. Alright, let's go back to the last one here. So now you're answering a independent topic. So some people believe it is important for universities to provide funding for student entertainment such as movies or concerts on campus. Others believe that university money should only be used for academic purposes. So which view do you agree with? Explain why. Okay.
Dear Michael, tomorrow I'm going to have exam.
Oh, here we go.
I'm very thankful and I appreciate what you have done for me. And I'm looking forward to hear your final remarks. This is my speaking.
Okay. My final remarks for you are, you have a little bit more trouble with your intelligibility when you're answering the integrated tasks, especially the ones that are academic in nature. So tomorrow, as you listen to those, as you read the reading passage and listen to the lecture, pay close attention to word stress. Try to make sure you're stressing the correct syllable in those multi-syllabic words. So that would be one of my suggestions. Overall, you're ready. You have pretty good pronunciation of most things. The word stress issue has been a problem, as you know, so you want to be careful about that. Language use, for the most part, you seem to have pretty good control. In the beginning, when you posted your speaking, it was a little bit rough with your organization, but I feel pretty comfortable now. You seem to know how to organize your responses in a way that's easy for other people to understand. So those are, I think that, try to relax as much as you can. I think you should do a pretty good job. All right? Remember that the questions you'll get tomorrow will not be predictable. You don't know what kinds of independent speaking topics you're going to get, so don't just try to do a memorized template when you're answering those questions. What you want to do is to identify what the speaking task is, what are you being asked to do, and then make sure during your speaking response that you address that purpose. Alright, so good luck to you. I got a good feeling.
Personally, I think that universities should spend the bigger part of their budget on research projects. First, as universities are ranked based on their research projects, I think it would be very important for universities to have outstanding and interesting research projects to attract students and enhance the university's reputation.
Okay.
Also, as lots of students don't have enough money to pay their tuition, I think funded research projects can offer the students work positions such as TA and RA to pay their tuitions.
Okay. I think overall you did a pretty good job answering that one. Let's look at it. So some believe it's important for universities to provide funding for student entertainment such as movies or concerts. Others believe that university money should only be used for academic purposes. Which view do you agree with and why? The problem is the question you're posting here, I'm not sure you entirely answered that. Let me go back to this one more time.
Hi everybody, and I am Mike. You're Michael. Tomorrow I'm going to have...
So we have that.
This is my speaking. Personally, I think that universities should spend the bigger part of their budget on research projects. First,
on research projects, but where are we getting that from? That's what I don't get. It's talking about either student entertainment or using university money for academic purposes. So I would say they should be using it for academic purposes such as research projects. So if you said academic purposes and then research projects, it might be a little bit better. Overall, though, I think you answered the question here. I'm going to put you at about 24 to 26 points out of 30. I think overall you answered the question. You gave some details and examples in there. So I think it was a pretty good response. So what are my comments for you tomorrow? Like I said, try to relax. Remember some of the comments I've given you over the last 10 days. And I will keep a prayer in my heart for you today and tomorrow. And I really hope from the bottom of my heart that you reach your goal. All right? Thank you.